Welcome back to Common Sense, everybody. I am Wendy Bell. America First isn't a slogan or a bumper sticker. It's exactly what it says. Americans come first in America. At least we should. I mean, we pay the taxes. We should benefit from the services our taxes provide. But that's not how it is in Joe Biden's America. The administration's own data, in fact, shows that Americans' workers' wages were effectively cut by more than $4.50 an hour last month because of inflation. And that we also paid an inflation tax of 13.5% because everything costs so much more. You feel it. It's essentially, I guess you'd say, a second income tax. Joe Biden calls it greedflation. We call it the result of people voting Democrat. And what do we get for that squeeze? Our streets transformed by the homeless, shopping districts turned into shanties. That's New York City, right? Businesses ravaged by theft, robbed at gunpoint. That's California. And evaporating police protection to keep us safe. That's my community, Pittsburgh. There's no protection anymore from 3 to 7 in the mornings. Like, that sounds safe. Are you feeling beaten and abandoned yet? A lot of people, Democrats hope, will vote for them are, and that is going to get dicey. Let's bring back the panel. Bill Spadia is New Jersey's top morning drive host on 101.5 FM, also the founder of the Common Sense Club. Wendy Patrick hosts Today with Dr. Wendy on KCBQ Radio The Answer out of San Diego. And Chris Arps co-hosts the Tim Jones and Chris Arps Show on News Talk St. Louis 101.9 and 94.1 FM in Missouri. Bill, you're up here, my man. Free plane rides into the cities, free housing, free food, free medical care, free education, free legal help, free job training. Right? And in New York, right. Yeah. Well, how about this? And in New York, free cuts, colors, whatever you need, you got it. You think the clear preference over illegals, over Americans is obvious enough to cost not just Joe Biden, but maybe Democrats in down ticket races coming up in November, because everybody sees.
There's no question people are starting to wake up. I mean, we had a school close in New York City. They sent all the kids home so they could make way for these migrants to literally live in the school. I mean, we have gone completely mad. We have Democratic mayors in New Jersey who are now telling the governor, we do not want these illegals here, and they've directed their local cops to turn buses around. We've seen this with the Democratic mayor in Edison, New Jersey. We've heard the call across the state. Here's part of the challenge, that the media conflates the terms. There are legitimate refugees that are being recruited by the cartels on the promise of a better life. And then they tell them, hey, it'll cost you $6,000. And guess what? We own you until you pay that off. They are literally sending people here to take the free American taxpayer dollars, to take the jobs. So the only solution is to, number one, close our southern border. Number two, I mean, 7.2 million have come across in just since Joe Biden got inaugurated. The Border Patrol estimates, and the local Department of Public Safety, 1 in 20 at least hardened criminals coming over. So we have an enormous, we've got to close the border. We've got to fight the cartels on their side. It's time for military action against the cartels. And then I believe that the states need to separate the criminal aliens from those that want to be here for a better life. And once we defeat the cartels, we can separate that connection, that literal slave chain between the cartels and these people.
That's a good point.
Many only came here for a better life. But what's happening now, completely unfair to American citizens, taxpayers, homeowners, everyone. It's unfair.
New data shows that the Democrats' longtime advantage with Black and Latino voters has dropped to its lowest point in more than 60 years, you guys. Biden reportedly won non-white Americans in 2020 by nearly 50 points. That advantage has collapsed to just 8 points now. Democrats have never had to compete with Republicans, Chris, for the black vote. So why is it happening now? Is this illegal immigrant thing? Is this the thing that's getting people up and out and ready?
I think that, and along with the economy, people are hurting because of inflation. But I think also because of the illegal immigration and because of the border situation, African Americans are feeling that their interests aren't being paid attention to by the Democratic Party. They think that the Democratic Party is more focused on LGBTQ rights, illegal immigration, and making sure that illegal immigrants have green cards and can work. Last time I looked at the statistics, I think the African American youth unemployment rate was something like 53%. The African American unemployment rate is at 8%. You look at our labor participation rate, it's at 62%. That's almost at a 50% low. There are able-bodied people out there in our country that need to be working. Instead, we're busing in illegal immigrants and basically doing a big neon welcome in sign, giving
Yep.
these people all types of benefits.
Right. No, you're absolutely right about that. How do we get these people then who are already here in our country, who are Americans, to those jobs? But Wendy, you know, while crippling us economically, the left is also going after the American family. I mean, it's so obvious. A George Mason University professor says marriage promotes white supremacy. So now marriage is racist. I mean, like, when does it stop? When can we move on, Wendy? What the heck?
You know, Wendy, there's so many different directions we could go with this story and that this larger context, if you will. You know, but for some of these refugees, these migrants, people that are crossing, it's more than just wanting a salary and a swag bag as being handed to them. And on the topic of marriage, I'm glad you came to me on this one, because one of the things that Democrats fail to remember is many people that do live in Mexico or some of these other countries are Roman Catholic, pro-marriage, pro-life, pro-marriage between a man and woman. In other words, they have traditional values that may not mean they're necessarily going to default to a Democratic vote. They may look at the ballot and decide some of the things Republican candidates espouse, if you will, including marriage, are more in line with what they've been brought up to believe. And one more thing I will say about the way migrants are being treated, they don't want to live in schools or in tents or on the street or have buses turned around. If they did come here fleeing another country, that's not what they came for. They also don't want to work for less and have a job that's monotonous and will shortly be taken over by AI, which will put them back onto the street.
Good point.
So if we're looking
That's a
for
good
a
point.
refugee's best interest at heart, we've got to really look at a broader level, because they may end up voting Republican, because that may be the key to actually having the life they came here for.
And guys, in his 1958 book, The Naked Communist, FBI agent W. Cleon Skousen presented the then communist agenda, right? His list of goals has become legendary. It was read into the record, congressional record, 1963. Number 40 on that list, Bill, discredit the family as an institution. Mission accomplished, my brother.
Yeah, look, this is an all-out assault on Western values. This is a true insurrection, and it is being aided and abetted by the White House, the current administration in the White House, the Biden administration. I don't think Joe Biden's in charge, but whoever's pulling his strings. There is truly a cabal in the White House that is working against America. Look, this whole idea of refugees, the only reason that we even hear that term is because they want to soften this up so you feel sorry and they pull at the heartstrings. But the reality is our neighborhoods are not safe. Our jobs are being taken away. Our tax dollars are being sent to fuel the cartel military operations. What is happening in this country is nothing short of an insurrection that is being led by the Democratic Party.
Bing, 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 bing. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for being here, you all.